Bliss, bliss. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Brand new weekly reading right here. Beautiful Sunday. And I'm so excited to connect with you. Bliss and welcome to this brand new weekly reading today, right here on my channel. Rissa Vibes here, aka Readings by Rissa. So excited to connect with you as always. Today we are here to connect to the energy of the week coming up as we feel into our own intuition, as you receive the messages from my own intuition and my guides for this week coming up, as well as your own. And as we connect as a community, a web of light community right here every Sunday at 1:11 p.m. Central Time to join together in conscious connection. I'm so happy to be here. Welcome to a brand new week. Today we are going to be covering September 6th to September 13th. We are in a brand new month. We just entered it last week, and we are in the month of trust, according to the annual card reading that I posted at the very beginning of this year in January 2020. And now we are in the month of trust, according to that card reading. So we really want to step into an energy of trust this month even more as our second week in this month. And we're going to talk a little bit more about what that means. If this is your first time to one of my weekly readings, welcome and thank you for joining. Go ahead and comment in the section below in the chat to let me know where you're tuning in from and how you're feeling, whether you're new here or whether you have been to one of these weekly readings before. I'd love to hear from you and how you're doing. And I'm really excited to go over the energy of this week because we do have a lot to talk about. I always like to start with a little review of last week, so we'll dive into that in just a moment. But if you are first time here and you've never met me before, I just want to give you a little background on who I am. Again, my name is Rissa Vibes, aka Readings by Rissa, and I'm an intuitive and a professional intuitive coach, which means that I help navigate people through their enlightenment journey. I help them access their intuitive gifts, and I also help them to understand how to read energy and navigate the energy within and around them. So if that's something that you're interested in, if you would like to step into some mentoring with me, one-on-one coaching, or enter my one-on-one coaching and course program, definitely reach out to me. I will post a link in the description where you can sign up for a free consultation call where we'll talk all about your coaching needs and we'll assess what program I have available for you that is the best fit for you in your journey. I'm super excited to connect with all of you on that if you're interested, because I think it is such a perfect time right now to tap into your intuition, and I'll explain why in just a little bit. I also offer one-on-one readings, including past life readings, cosmic connection readings, mediumship, energy cleansings, all sorts of stuff. So if you're interested in a one-on-one reading, I will also post a description or a link in the description as well, so you can sign up for one of those. All right, with that being said, let's jump right into a review of last week so that we know what we are coming from, so that we can get ready to jump into what we are getting into next. So last week, I pulled the manifestation card at the beginning of the week. And if you were watching last week, you know that we had a little bit of a technical difficulty at the end. The camera cut out, but we were able to keep the audio running to get through the cards. So last week's cards, the beginning of the week, was manifestation. And that was really encouraging us to step into a place of creation, to really declare what we want to manifest and create in our lives, and to trust, with that card from September, in the possibility of it becoming real. And then in the middle of the week, we got the dream card, encouraging us that our dreams are reality and can be reality if we can focus more upon our dreams and also allow ourselves to believe in them. We also were encouraged to review the dreams that we were having as we slept at night to see if any of those had any messages for us intuitively as well to help us with our manifestations. And then at the end of the week, beautiful card to end the week with, just ask. And that's all about the divine intervention that we have the ability to call on whenever we need some guidance or some help or some protection in whatever we are moving through in our lives. So asking our source, our higher selves, our spirit team to assist us wherever we need help, because that is absolutely what will bring in the energetic support that we need to get through whatever we're going through. And then we did have a full moon in Pisces, and that was a really, really intense moon energy that we felt last week. And the card that we pulled for the full moon in Pisces was the Serpent of Fire, which I think was so perfect because it was a water moon. However, we have so much energy of fire all around us right now. We're going to talk a little bit more about what other fire energies we're going to be stepping into this week and preparing for. But we also just came from that amazing Lionsgate portal in August 8th and really experienced that whole energy of fire with the Leo energy as well last month also, and then moving into the Pisces full moon with the water, creating this really beautiful balance of fire and water, and encouraging us to step into our passions, our purpose, our activation of our power and our gifts and our magic as well. So now with that review of last week, I want to tap into the energy of this week. We're going to cover September 6th to September 13th. And this is our opportunity to check in with the energy of the mass collective, check in with the energy of our own lives and personal selves and communities, and read this energy for the purpose of navigation with smooth energy and grace for this upcoming week. So the first thing I want to talk about, and these are the spirit messages. These are the messages that I get directly from my guides in meditation, through readings, through connections to the mass collective that I make throughout my business and my work. These are the messages that I get directly from reading that energy. So I want to dive into that. I want to first see who's here though. I always like to check in with everybody. Linda's here. Good to see you. Kevin is here. Good to see you. Hilaire is here as well. Kayla's here. Good to see you, love. Tuning in from California. Beautiful. Meredith's here as well. So good to see you. Wonderful. Yes, intense energy in Texas, Kevin says. Good to have you here joining from Texas. All right, so we are definitely going to talk about all this intense energy. I can't wait to step into it with you. Let's go ahead and dive in. For the spirit messages, the first thing that I was told from my guides to make sure that we focus on is comfort and care. Comfort and care are the focuses that are most necessary to get us through this week. And that leads me to believe that there are going to be some things that are a bit uncomfortable this week. There are going to be some things that are going to challenge our ability to care for ourselves or care for others. And so this is a time where we want to make sure that comfort and care is our priority. And we're going to talk about why. Now, turning to your inner being is the next message. The next message is really about allowing your intuition to take charge. As we focus more on comfort and care, we recognize that our intuition often shows us what will be most comfortable for us and most in support of our care, our well-being, and the well-being of others. And so while we use our intuition, we want to allow ourselves to ask, just like we got that message last week for the end of the week, is to ask on what will bring us into places of more comfort and in places of more self-care. Now, with everything going on this week, with the full moon last week, and now moving into this week, we have a Mars in retrograde starting on Wednesday. That is going to be a really intense energy. In fact, many of you are already probably feeling it. There's a lot of stagnancy in action. There's also some tension around movement forward. There's also some fears and aggressive energy and pressure around certain circumstances in your life. These are things that are needing to be rebalanced, things that are not fully in alignment, that are being rebalanced, reconfigured, and reassessed by Mars through the retrograde that it's about to step into. So we're going to tap into more understanding of the Mars retrograde throughout this entire reading, because that is the primary energetic focus for us right now. And I'm also going to dive into more of the astrological aspects of that throughout the reading as well. But ultimately, the first thing I want you all to remember, and that's why I'm bringing it up first, is to focus on comfort and care. Wherever you're not comfortable, it's important to find ways to get comfortable, to find ways to settle in, even if you can't change that discomfort, finding ways to get more comfortable with it, to accept it, to embrace whatever's going on. We talked a little bit about this last week. And then allowing yourself to focus on care, self-care, care for others as well who need it, really using that heart energy, the heart activations that we felt from the full moon in Pisces last week to bring forth a priority of care and giving care and receiving care. So turn to your inner being when you're not exactly sure how to find comfort amidst something, or how to focus on care for yourself or others when you're in the middle of something. Our intuition is absolutely our best friend right now. This is the time in the world where we need our intuition the most. There's so much information going on and circling around us. There's so much disclosure of information. There's so much opinions going on, and there's so many things that we're experiencing at once. And all of that can create chaos and confusion if we're not tuning into our intuition, if we're not turning to our inner being, if we're not going within, breathing deeply, feeling into our heart, and asking how we truly feel, or what is most important, or what we really need most in a situation. We have to step into a place of spiritual awareness and spiritual strategy versus physical strategy. This is essentially what the Mars in retrograde is encouraging us to do, is to step into spiritual strategy instead of physical strategy. And over the next 80 days, while Mars is in retrograde from the 9th on of this month, the 9th to the 13th of November, we are going to be encouraged, tested, and invited to rely on our intuition and our inner being much more frequently. So you may feel like things start to become stagnant or still, or that they're at a standstill in your life this week, or even as we approach Wednesday. If you're feeling that, I want you to remember that the Mars retrograde is absolutely influencing that stillness and stagnancy. And it's not actually causing a break in the energy. It's actually causing a rebalancing. And so a lot of this kind of feeling of confusion, or this teeter-tottering of back and forth on how something's going to go, or what should be done next, or what decisions should be made, is a part of the rebalancing. And so over the next 80 days, there is going to be this influx of rebalancing. There is going to be this kind of back and forth of energy. There is going to be some confusion because things are being assessed on both sides. And as things are being assessed on both sides, we're gathering information intuitively on which side is going to be most beneficial for us, what decision is most beneficial, what path is most beneficial, and what step next is most beneficial. So as you may feel like things are at a standstill, or even you might feel that things are moving backwards or regressing, it's important to know that that's not exactly what's happening. Things aren't going backwards. You're not going backwards. You're not regressing into old things. You're actually rebalancing energy for the purpose of progressing forward after this Mars retrograde is over. So right now, super important for us to recognize how our emotional body is, our physical body, our mental body, our spiritual body is as we move through this time, because we're going to notice that the energy is going to be a little sludgy. It's going to be a little slow moving. It's going to be a little difficult to move through. We might feel like we're moving through quicksand in certain situations or experiences in our life, feeling like we're not seeing any change or progress. You might feel lethargic or stuck, or you might feel forced to stop something that you've been feeling in flow of. This is a pause in connection. This is not a break in connection. This may ultimately become a break in connection if Spirit decides that the path you were on is actually not best for you. But that's not what it is yet, okay? So the biggest thing to do during this time is to relax and don't react. Don't react too quickly. And that's why I titled this reading that, because we're going to feel uncomfortable with things stopping and getting still, and maybe even feeling like they're regressing or not moving forward. And we're going to naturally want to do something about it, to physically create change. But we are encouraged to not do that unless we are centered, balanced, and divinely guided to do so. If our intuition says that we should move on or break an energy, then we want to feel into it again and get a second opinion on that energy. We want to feel into the intuition again. We want to revisit it in a couple days. We want to keep revisiting it, and we want to make sure that it's a definite answer from spirit, that it's not an egoic answer made out of a sense of urgency or a judgment or a fear or a doubt, but that it's actually your intuition. So I encourage you, if you can help it, don't break an energy, meaning don't leave a job, don't quit a project, don't leave a relationship, don't, get back into a relationship. If you're in a place right now where you have noticed this energy affecting you, because you want to really get clear on this. You want to make sure that you don't react or move too impulsively on something or make a decision too soon. You really want to let the energy of the Mars retrograde over the next 80 days rebalance and configure and fix itself, figure itself out, and use your inner being to navigate the highs and lows of that. Okay. Let me know if you're following me. Let me know if this makes sense, everybody. So recognize that it may feel like a breaking connection, or it may feel like, something is just not working, or it's just not going to happen the way you wanted it to go, or that you feel like you need to move in a different direction. But just make sure and check in with your intuition, breathe deeply, center yourself, and ask again to make sure that that's the right decision to make before you just react and do that too impulsively. This is a really strong energy, and it also creates a little bit of instability. And so it's important to recognize that you want to focus on what makes you feel secure and safe during this time as well. You want to ground your energy into the core of Mother Earth, extending your energy and your breath into the core of Mother Earth, imagining the Mother Earth roots, connecting to your roots, sending you love and nurturance and care, revitalizing you and keeping you connected to your sense of being grounded. This is a time where we really want to focus on the foundations we've created in ourselves, our values, the things that keep us strong, our morning rituals, our evening rituals, our moon practices, our mindfulness practices. We want to really get invested in that, because those stabilities and structures that we've created in our life are going to be what we rely on when things get a little choppy or unstable from this energy. So make sure you're taking care of yourself. That's part of that comfort and care, making sure that you're comforting yourself through change, and also making sure you're recognizing how you're perceiving the energy right now. Because we are in a place of transformation, because we are in a place of rebalancing, and because we're in a place where things that have been moving forward are being reassessed, are being stilled, and even reanalyzed and also redirected, we really want to step into a place of just kind of kindness to ourselves. And we want to also look at these things as opportunities, okay? Because the discomfort that we're feeling through this time is also important to understand and feel and face. The way in which things still and get stagnant and the way we naturally perceive it is going to carry a set of information for us to analyze in understanding ourselves more. So maybe you're recognizing that you keep meeting a bunch of roadblocks or barriers in your way of a certain goal that you're trying to accomplish. Maybe you've been stuck at on the same level of growth, and you've been really wanting to get to that next level, but you haven't been able to figure out how to. Take this as an opportunity, this feeling of stillness and stagnancy and not being able to move forward. Take this as an opportunity to learn and study yourself and learn and study your response to it. When you feel that stagnancy, or when you meet a roadblock or barricade, do you get upset? Do you start to blame yourself? Do you start to shut down? Do you start to get pessimistic and give up? Or do you start to blame other people and start to project aggression and anger? Or do you surrender? Do you get quiet? Do you get still? Do you go within? Do you ask your guides? Do you connect to source? Do you do some breath work? Do you do some yoga, right? What are you doing in response to the roadblocks? What are you doing in response to the stagnancy and the stillness? What are you doing in response to the feeling of things moving backward and not moving forward? How is your response? Because if your response is a reaction that is negatively impacting the energy, or that has a energy of negativity surrounding it, then you're bringing in more of that negative energy, and you're going to be attracting more roadblocks. You're going to be attracting more stillness and stagnancy. You're not going to grow from that place. So it's about using your response to generate the energy that you want to receive. So if you notice you're still and stagnant in a level of growth, and you get to that roadblock again, that's your opportunity to say, you know what? I'm here at a roadblock. This is an opportunity for me to grow. How can I educate myself on what this roadblock is so that I can approach it with a more energetic and spiritual response? How can I train myself to be more responsive versus reactive, right? Response is a soothing, graceful reply to an experience. A reaction is a anxious, unstable, fierce response to an experience. So those two carry very different energies. And it's incredibly important to notice what energy you are responding or reacting from, okay? Because this is going to tell you more about the situation and what you're meant to learn there. And it's also going to give you some intuitive information on what other areas of your life this might be showing up in. So notice, do you force yourself through a barricade or barrier? Do you break down? Or do you flow with it? Or do you break through it? These are important realizations about your spirit, about yourself. And you can ask yourself, what is the universe trying to tell me in this experience of being still or stuck? Or what is the universe trying to tell me about this goal that I keep trying to pursue, that I keep getting stuck at? What is this roadblock trying to tell me? What is the universe trying to tell me about this roadblock that I'm meeting? Where else does this show up in my life? How can I respond differently? Have I tried responding differently? And let's see what happens, right? So letting yourself notice what needs to be rebalanced, what needs to be redirected, and trusting the process of it, trusting the information that's available to you, and taking every single thing that feels uncomfortable or stagnant or unstable, and reminding yourself that it's not something to be upset by or frustrated with or to break down over. Instead, it's something to use as an opportunity to build more strength, more structure, more support, more information, more education, more training on whatever it is that you're needing to utilize to get you through that. Let me know if you're following me. Let me know how you're feeling with this. This is very important stuff to go over. Phil's here. Good to see you, Phil. Much love to you as well. Do not give up, my brothers and sisters. Yes, so good. Love it. All Connected is here as well. Definitely all of you resonating. What do you do when your spirituality isn't given respect? I get so hurt and defensive. That's what Linda asked. Yeah, when your spirituality isn't given respect, it's about recognizing, are you respecting your spirituality? How are you respecting your spirituality? Are you ashamed of your spirituality? Are you embarrassed by it? Are you avoiding it? Are you not letting yourself fully express it? Because if you're not fully embodied in your spirituality, maybe those insecurities deep down within you are being expressed through other people's insecurities of your experience, because you're attracting that kind of response from others because you have a similar response internally. Or maybe your fears, your own fears of rejection, or your own fears of doubt and shame from others is amplifying that experience in your life because you haven't faced those fears and cleared them and accepted yourself for who you truly are, regardless of what other people think. Because once you do that, then those other energies, those other reactions and expressions towards you will, first of all, not matter because you don't care about what they think. And second of all, they'll stop showing up because you're no longer resonating at that vibration of fear or attracting those kind of experiences to test or challenge those fears so that you can overcome them. So that would probably be what I would say for that, Linda, to help you. So as we continue to move through, trusting the process, allowing ourselves to really surrender to the information that is available for us in every experience, and allowing ourselves to tune to our inner being as we move through it. And it's about being the wise one. That's the next message. Letting yourself be the wise one as you tune into your inner being, as you reflect on your experience and look for the opportunities instead of the obstacles. When you do that, you start to really become this being of light that is wise, this sage, this shaman, this guru, because you're able to learn your lessons and flow with them. Your intuition, your confidence, your courage will start to prevail more in abundance as well, and success, as you allow yourself to trust your own inner wisdom, trust the way in which you can see things and how they've progressed, and trust that you can move through them with that courage, that confidence, and that intuition. It's really important as well to make your decisions, all your decisions during this time, this week specifically, and over the next 80 days with the Mars retrograde, to make your decisions from a place of inner peace and centeredness. So if you're feeling like you have to make a decision that's really important, to leave or to stay in a job, or to leave or to stay in a relationship, or to move forward with an opportunity or not, you want to make sure you're making the decision from a place of intuition and center, which means you want to breathe deeply, you want to quiet your mind, you want to still your body, you want to connect to your heart, and you want to ask from that connection. Not so much the connection of the brain or a fear response, or out of doubt or shame or judgment or urgency. You don't want to make any kind of decisions based on that. Don't make decisions based on urgency, anger, instability, frustration, imbalance, anything, aggression. You don't want to make decisions from that place. Make them from a place of self-center, this ability to be one and in balance with your inner being, and from a place of intuition. If you're making your decisions from that place, you will be successful. If you start to make decisions from places of ego or shadow or aggression or anger or confusion or instability or unbalanced or out of centered energy, then you're going to get more of that, and it's going to cause a ripple effect in this this kind of unstable energy. So make sure you're doing that. And if you notice that you've created some unstable energy because you've been making decisions from a place of non-center, then start getting centered and making decisions from that place. And you will eventually gain the momentum of that to see things change in your experience. So trust that process as you build the momentum in the right direction. Make those decisions from a place of inner peace and intuition. And this is really going to allow us to purge the old ways of doing things. You know, I've been feeling so deeply from the guides, the galactic guides specifically, in the Starseed meditations every Saturday, this encouragement from them for us to break away from linear thinking and to step more into our multidimensional minds, our multidimensional abilities to approach things and react to things, respond to things, I should say. And this energy that they're presenting, this guidance that they're giving, is calling us to move from a place of spiritual strategy, like I said, versus physical strategy. Move from a place of spiritual awareness and reflection versus a place of what's going on in our physical world. To focus on the energy versus the physicality of things. What does the energy feel like? What is the vibe of something? What kind of energy is it giving off? Versus what are we seeing in the experience? What are we experiencing directly in the circumstance? So take things from less of a physical place and bring them into more of an energetic focus and study right now. Because that Mars retrograde is calling us to be less physical, because Mars is a planet that's all about the physical movement forward, physical action, physical expression. Mars is all about the material and the physical. And so Mars being in retrograde means it's pulling its energy back. It's pulling that influence away from us, which means that it will feel uncomfortable to not be able to see things clearly just from looking at them physically, or to feel through things clearly just by noticing what's right there in front of us. It's going to feel uncomfortable to experience things like that. But if we can remember this message throughout this week, and we can focus more on the energetics of things, we can tap into what's beneath the surface, what's unseen versus what's seen, then we are going to really get into a place of flow and harmony with this Mars retrograde. So be wise in that, and let yourself let go of your old ways of, physically working through something or physically responding to something, and allow yourself to purge that so that you can step more into the intuitive way of looking at things, the spiritual way of navigating things, the imaginative and manifestation-based way of creating things, okay? We're also purging a lot of greed, a lot of narcissism, a lot of manipulative tendencies, a lot of aggression, instability out of our lives right now. So you may notice that a lot of those energies are around you to show you that it's time to clear them out and to no longer energetically invest in those things. Those things represent the shadow side of Mars and the shadow side of the 3D, which we're moving out of. And we've been moving out of the 3D, the third dimension, for a while, moving through the fourth dimension now, and ultimately into the fifth dimension. And so we're purging the old ways. We're purging the heavier, more toxic behaviors, emotions, expressions of self or energy in our life. So make sure you let go of your attachments to any of those narcissistic energies, old stagnant energies, manipulative energies, greedy energies, aggressive energies. Let them go. They are not meant to be in your experience. And when I say let them go, I also say that with grace. I encourage you to let things go with grace. Going back to not making any really aggressive movements or aggressive decisions, instead finding ways to ease out of things or distance with ease and grace, allowing the energy to show itself to you as you make those decisions by tapping into your intuition from a balanced place, okay? We're soon entering harvest season, so this is great news. As we approach the fall solstice, the autumn solstice, we are going to be entering autumn, which is harvest season. This is the time where we get to harvest all of our, fruits of our labor. We get to really feast on the abundance that we've built and created this year. And we're going to be stepping into that in the next couple of weeks. So this is our time also to reflect on our accomplishments, to get really excited for the things that we've been working on, knowing that they are going to manifest soon, really getting in tune with our ability to be the powerful conscious creators in our life, and noticing how we can take more of our own imagination and intuition into our control so that we can create our own reality. This is a perfect time for that conscious creation. We had a big amplification of creative expression energy last week that helped with manifestation, and we're feeling even more of it continuing here in this week, but we're doing it from a place of energetics. So we want to imagine, we want to visualize, we want to intuit what we want for our future, and we want to allow that energy to build in the spiritual world behind the veil before bringing it into the physical after this Mars retrograde, okay? So everything in our life is actually rebalancing and redirecting itself for the purpose of aligning to whatever manifestations we've been asking for recently. And some of the manifestations we've been asking for recently are very different than the things that we're experiencing right now in our physical reality. And so our physical reality is going to be very much shaken up for the purpose of aligning our physical reality to the manifestations that we've set forth, getting everything on the same page, which is why we'll see a lot of halts in energy, a lot of stagnancy and stillness as that all reboots and reactivates essentially. So this is a really powerful month. This is a really powerful energy. This is a month that's going to make us or break us for the rest of the year. You know, how we respond to this Mars retrograde, how we've responded to the recent moon energies, and how we've responded to the Lionsgate portal recently, all are coming together to create our experience for the next several months. So I encourage you to really reflect on the ways in which the Lionsgate expressed itself through you. What did you learn? What did you focus on? What do you need to amplify more of to keep that energy going in a positive way? Same thing with the moons. How have the moons been affecting you? What have you been progressing and growing through in that? And how is this Mars retrograde really reflecting itself through you? How are you responding to it? Are you responding through reaction and intensity and unbalanced, kind of unstable energy, or are you responding with flow and intuition and grace? And I encourage you all to call on your protector spirits, call on your protector guides to protect your projects during this time, to protect your investments, to protect your businesses and your work, to protect whatever it is your manifestations are for your future, and to protect yourself and your energy during this time, because there's so many highs and lows, because there's so many astrological influences, and because we've been going through such a transformation in the mass collective. Calling on your protector guides, especially this week as we move into the Mars retrograde, will really help you to feel just more energetically taken care of and supported. And I did post a meditation on this YouTube channel on the playlist, Intuitive Practices and Meditations. You can go to that. I did post that a couple of weeks ago, and it's all about calling on your protector spirits, your protector guides. So you can use that meditation to do so and just add some energetic shielding around you. And it's also important that vulnerability is honored during this time, because there's going to be a lot of things in your experience this week that kind of show you what's been unstable, what's maybe needing rebalanced, what's needing redirected, and what within you that you can do better for adding to your care and comfort in your life. Because all of that stuff is happening, you're going to be feeling pretty exposed. You're going to be feeling pretty vulnerable during this week. And it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to let yourself be open, honest, genuine with yourself, to be, just really open in a way that might be uncomfortable, but that is necessary so that you can dig through your experiences, dig through your emotions, your behaviors, your thoughts, and get really clear on who you are at this time. This is going to expose you to your true self right now. And maybe your true self is a little bit off from what you want yourself to be like, or what your ideal self is. But it's so important to be able to look at who you are right now in order for you to be able to know what changes need to be made to bring you into your ideal self. So that's why the vulnerability is so valuable. So let yourself get deep with yourself and with your loved ones, and get the support that you need to help you feel comforted and cared for during that vulnerable expression. It's also important to learn how to move energy. This is the last message on the spiritual message side for you all. This is huge. Moving energy is probably one of the most powerful lessons you could learn in your life on how to move energy. And what I mean by moving energy is I mean generating a momentum of energy that will help support whatever you're wanting to experience. So an example of this is if you're feeling restless or feeling, maybe not restless, let's go with a little easier example. If you're feeling really stagnant, maybe you have a stiffness in your elbow, okay? And you've just been feeling like every time you do your yoga, you just get this stiffness in your elbow and you don't really know what it's about, okay? A pretty easy example of how to move energy is to start to generate a different energy around it. So if you're feeling this pain in your elbow, but you want to feel, you want to feel good, you want to feel like it's just, bending right and feeling good, then you want to figure out what it is that's there by breathing into it. You want to send care and love to it. You want to put an energy around it that is different than the pain you've been feeling. So that means putting your attention on it, putting your love into it, putting your intention into it, putting in some more care on it, and moving the energy that way. Breathing into that area, asking your intuition to show you what energy is there, allowing yourself to recognize, okay, when did I start feeling that show up? What emotion was I thinking? What thought was I thinking when the pain showed up? Or how have I been responding to that pain? And how can I move that energy by doing something differently? So immediately you can stop doing yoga for a little bit because it's irritating it, right? And you can start to do something different. Maybe you do a different kind of morning ritual where you're just doing meditation, and maybe that includes sending love and Reiki and energy to your elbow. Or maybe it's allowing yourself to stretch the elbow. Maybe it feels like it's been too tight in certain areas and you haven't really given it enough movement. So maybe you physically move the elbow to create some energy movement. Or maybe you allow yourself to just imagine your elbow being less stiff. Imagine moving it more. Imagine moving it with ease. You're sending some mental energy to that, transforming the energy that way. Also, if you're getting restless, if you're feeling anxious, if you're feeling, nervous about something, or, just super charged up, but don't have anywhere to put that energy, a way to move that energy would be to move your body, to move whatever is going on mentally and emotionally. Allow your body to move so that you can kind of bring some of that energy and channel some of that energy into the body. So energy movement can be expressed and taught in so many different ways. And I could go deep, deep, deep into this, I'm sure, for hours. But really what I'm trying to get you all to understand is how to move the energy by recognizing what it is causing the energy of discomfort and doing something different to create a different outcome. And this is something that you can send energy to something. You can imagine a different energy around something. Maybe you imagine love and light around a difficult experience you're having. That's moving the energy from that darkness energy into light. Maybe you're sending love to a friend that is going through it, and you're moving that energy of pain out of their heart by sending love to it. These are ways to move energy. And as you do, you'll start to see the physical responses, the physical manifestations of that movement of energy. But it takes that energetic focus to allow the momentum to build up for it to come into the physical. So this is something that also requires patience, which is, I think, why, our guides have been so clear about being patient over the last couple of weeks and allowing transformation to happen. Because when we start working in the energetics of things versus the physical aspects of things, we also have to remember that energy doesn't really work in time and space like we do. Spirit doesn't really work in time and space like we do. So we have to have a different kind of patience. We have to just allow the unfolding of the energy that we trust we put into something. And that's where that trust in September comes from, okay? So that's a powerful full circle expression of the spirit messages of this week. How are all of you feeling? And let me know if that all resonates. I want to dive into some, thank you, love, for EM Vector for the donation, for the super chat. Appreciate that, love. Thank you, Phil, for the super chat as well. Love you guys. And M Vector says, we are learning to make decisions from our higher selves, our God self. Can we take more action based on self-love, love and light, and harmonic order to all? Yes, I love that. Yes, the more action we can put into love, the more action we can put into peace, the more action we can put into intuition, the more we will see movement in our lives in other areas and in the world, which is so, so important. I love that, EM Vector. Thank you. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the astrology of things. These are the astrological messages of the week. Of course, I talked primarily about the Mars retrograde. That is happening on Wednesday, the 9th, 9/9/2020. Powerful numbers with that. We have a 9 code. We also have a 444 code because we've got the 2020 being 4 for the year. And then we also have the entire date adding up to 22, which is another 4. And so we have this 4/4 code, and it's a powerful energy that's calling us to recognize our wisdom and the completion of things through those double 9s. 9s represent wisdom, completion. They represent rebirth as well. And we're experiencing all of that with this Mars retrograde as things are rebirthed from what is needing to be rebalanced. And also as we gain more wisdom from the transformations of rebirth that we're experiencing and the completion of our old selves as we move into our new selves. And so this Mars retrograde is also in the sign of Aries, which is adding fire to the fire planet of Mars. So that is why I'm saying it is going to be a bit uncomfortable. It's going to be fiery. There's going to be some aggression, some anger, some frustration, some instability, some chaos, those fire aspects. But there's also going to be passion and inspiration and excitement and exhilaration and growth and spiritual fire of cleansing and activation of our spirit. And so we want to allow ourselves to notice the different sides of the fire that we're feeling and to recognize that with our own innate intuition and wisdom and to redirect and rebalance where necessary. This is also a really powerful time for manifestation, like I said. So energetic manifestation. When you're not feeling like you can make physical moves towards something you're wanting to create in your life, can you make the spiritual and energetic moves towards that? Can you go into visualization and imagine yourself accomplishing that goal? Can you move the energy with yoga or with intent? Can you analyze and reflect through journaling on the emotions and thoughts and energies behind an experience so that you can get clear on what needs to change and how to redirect your response to things in a more graceful way to evoke that change? And are you grounded? Are you connected to the earth? Are you feeling supported, stable, secure, and protected? And if not, are you calling on your protector guides? Are you connecting to nature and Mother Earth energy? Are you allowing yourself to feel into your body and trust that energy? These are the things that you want to focus on for the Mars retrograde. These are what's going to help you stay in balance and in grace during this time over the next 80 days until November 13th. This is a big reset of our energy and a big reset of our year for the Mass Collective. So we're also going to see some pretty significant things happen this month as we move into the next couple of months in the Mass Collective. I've been talking about something happening in September for a while. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but I feel like the Mars retrograde and the fall solstice coming up in the next couple of weeks is definitely going to stir whatever it is up. So be on the lookout for that. Know that it's about really controlling how we react to something. If something crazy happens that jars us and kind of knocks us off track, how are we reacting? How are we responding? Are we reacting with fierce and ferocity and aggression and anger and fear and anxiety and paranoia? Or are we responding by taking a step back, observing, intuitively seeing things, energetically seeing things, and feeling into a graceful, peaceful response? That's where we want to be, okay? Now, on September 11th, we have another astrological influence. It is the influence of alchemy and expansion of love with the number 15 for the universal date on that day. That 15 is the number of alchemy and love and magic. So we're going to feel a lot of that energy. And the sun opposes Neptune on that day. And Neptune is, of course, in its sign Pisces. Sun is in its sign Virgo right now, or in the sign Virgo right now. And so we're feeling that earth and water connection with these planets coming together, creating a dreamy experience, a higher mind experience, also helping us with our imagination and our ability to liberate ourselves from our logical mind so we can step more into our spiritual mind, liberating ourselves from physical strategy so we can step into spiritual strategy, really letting ourselves open our third eye as well. That is also going to be a big energy on the 11th of September. So tune into your spirit for decisions and also rest a lot. Many of you will be feeling like you need to sleep a little bit more than usual. It's because your third eyes are activating. It's also because you're getting a lot of intuitive responses and downloads about what to do in your life and how to work energy. And you're also working energy in the dream realm, whether you know it or not. So you may feel a little bit less rested after you sleep because of the energy you may be moving in the dream realm as well. And then on the 13th of September, we have the energy of the divine feminine coming back with the number 13 for that universal date number. And the divine feminine is being reborn through this Mars retrograde. The Mars energy is such a strong energy about masculinity and male masculine healing, divine masculine healing. So we're going to see the men in our lives going through a lot of healing this week as well, with that Mars retrograde start stirring up. And then on the 13th, we'll see some balance in their experience with some divine feminine, some comfort, some intuition, some nurturance in their lives. And we're also going to notice that our own divine masculine, whether you're male or female, is going to definitely be healing as well, maturing as well with the Mars retrograde. It really allows us to step up and express our masculine energy from a more mature and a more healed place. But during the retrograde, it is going to also show us where we're not healed and where we're not mature in the masculine energy. So this is going to be a learning experience and a learning process for all of us as we move through. So on the 13th, when the divine feminine energy comes in with the number 13, we're going to notice some balancing in that, and we're going to see it in the stars as well. Venus trine Chiron on that day is going to provide some deep healing through love, through connectedness, through that divine feminine embrace and energy, through our intuition, through our spirituality, okay? So powerful, powerful week, everyone. Lots of spirit messages, lots of astrological influences. This is a big time for us all to grow and evolve through transformation within ourselves, our communities, and the mass collective, and to trust the process as we do and not make any rash decisions without being centered, balanced, and tapping into our intuition, and making sure that we really focus on our response and making a graceful, easy, and peaceful response to anything that comes up that might be uncomfortable for us to experience, okay? So those are the spirit messages and the astrological events. Let's go ahead and pull some cards. How is everybody feeling? Everybody's feeling good. Keep dancing. Yes, keep dancing. That's a great way to bring in some positive energy and move some energy in the body. Also, keep breathing. Breath work is a really powerful way to move energy as well. If you're feeling stuck or stagnant or frustrated or angry or aggressive at any time this week, take some time to breathe, to connect to your breath, to remind yourself that everything is going to be okay and that you can just trust the process. And also ask your guides, ask your intuition, ask your inner being. So I'm going to pull a card for the beginning of the week. Let's see what we've got here. And also, everybody, again, if you're interested in attuning more of your intuitive gifts, if you're wanting to amplify your connection to source and your connection to your guides, if you're wanting to learn how to navigate the energy within you and around you with ease, definitely reach out to me for one-on-one mentoring and coaching. This is the perfect time in our lives right now. This is the time in our lives right now when our intuition is our greatest tool and can truly change our lives for the better. And there hasn't been a time like this in a really long time for our intuition to be so supported and so useful in our experience in the world. And so this is a great, great time to amplify that tool for the sake of bringing in more abundance and success in your life, okay? So definitely reach out to me. I will put we'll put the link to schedule a call in the description link below. Let's go ahead and see what cards we have for this week. Beautiful. First card, Divine Intelligence. There it is. Divine Intelligence from Archangel Metatron, powerful energy. That's a book with light shining on it, literally encouraging us to study ourselves, to study our experience before we react, to study the decisions that we have to make before we make them, and to really use the divine intelligence within us to do that study. Not going into a more physical study, but more of a spiritual study and an energetic study of things. That is what's going to get us through any experience that we might be confused on or stuck on, okay? Next card is the Actor card. This card is powerful. This is all about evoking this energy of our true selves and recognizing that if we've been acting differently than our true selves in different areas of our lives, then it's important for us to be rebalanced so that we can be our true selves. And the Mars retrograde is going to be balancing us in areas of our life that we've been out of balance, so that we're not the actor of our experience, but more so our true selves in the experience. This is also going to help us to tap into the versatility of our being. Instead of trying to be other people, when we really honor and embrace who we truly are, we actually access the diversity of our being that helps us to relate to other people. And so this is kind of a interesting healing process. You know, so many people want to impress others, they care about what other people think, or they want to be a certain way or to be like somebody else. And when we try to be like somebody else, it's exhausting, it scatters our energy, and it doesn't allow us to be who we truly are. And we actually can't relate to other people very well if we're coming from an inauthentic place, even if we're trying to be like them or impress them or whatever. It's actually not going to work because the energy of what we're presenting is inauthentic. And so when we get back into our authentic selves and connect to that and really assess what is our authentic self and if we are embodying it in our areas of our life, and we start to then do that, we are able to really access even more of ourselves through that experience that actually brings us more success than any other way. And then finally, dreams. This card came up again. Sorry guys, I got a new light, so you guys can't really see that well, but I will make sure to adjust the light next time. But this is the dreams card. This is letting us know again that we're going to be working with energy in our dreams, that our dreams and our goals are real and are valid and are possible, and that we need to trust the process in our journey to our dreams this week, because we may feel like our dreams aren't flowing or that they're not going to be accomplished because there's going to be some roadblocks or just unexpected things or some halts in the energy this week. But trust that your dreams are still going to happen. It's just the balancing that needs to happen over the next 80 days during this Mars retrograde that's actually going to propel our dreams into more success and abundance, okay? So, divine intelligence, actor, don't be an actor, be your true self. And remember, your dreams are real and they will absolutely manifest the more you use that divine intelligence this week, okay? So fun. How are you all doing? How did you enjoy the reading today? Loving Metatron, Linda says. Beautiful. Hi, little Jamesy. Good to see you. Rebecca is here as well. So happy to have you here. Rebecca from Mexico. Thank you. Love that, Linda. 13th is your anniversary. Happy anniversary this week. So exciting, all of you. I've had such a great time connecting with you today. A couple of quick announcements. I do have a virtual Starseed gathering happening on the 17th of September from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. That is only $20 to join that Starseed gathering. We will be talking all about the energy from the cosmos that they are providing us, our galactic guides are providing us in helping us navigate the energy right now and helping us activate our true selves and our amplified, purest positive potentials. And so if you're interested in that Starseed gathering, definitely use the link in the description when I post it to sign up. I will be posting a PayPal link for the tickets to be sent, the ticket payment to be sent. And in that payment, just in the notes section, just make sure that you put your email address if your email address is not correct in association to your PayPal account. That way I can make sure to email you the link to the event and you will be all signed up, okay? I've had such a good time connecting with all of you for another weekly reading here every Sunday at 1:11 p.m. Central Time. Thank you so much for joining. Make sure to send this reading to all of your friends, your family, your spirit tribe, your coworkers, anybody that you feel like needs this information and these activations. And make sure to join me again next week for a brand new weekly reading. I love you so much. Have a wonderful week. Happy Mars retrograde on Wednesday. Everything is going to work out. Trust the process. It's all going to be good. And I'm right here with you every step of the way through it. I will see you soon. Peace.